Welcome back to Rich Words Music, where today we're looking at this. It's the NUX Queen of Tone dual overdrive pedal. Now you probably heard the name Queen of Tone and instantly thought, yeah, this is NUX's take on the King of Tone pedal, and it's sort of similar but sort of different too. So what exactly is the Queen of Tone? Well, it's a NUX pedal, so it's decent quality and thoroughly affordable, and it has two separate independent overdrive circuits in it. Now on this side we have the NUX Morning Star pedal, which is their take on the Bluesbreaker and that you'll find in the King of Tone sort of pedals, but on this side we have the NUX Horseman, and that's their take on the legendary Klon Centaur overdrive circuit. So it differentiates itself in that way, and what we have here is a Bluesbreaker pedal and a Klon Centaur type pedal all together in one box. You can use the two sides of the pedal independently, or you can use them together and stack them in either direction, Bluesbreaker into Klon or Klon into Bluesbreaker. It's your choice, and we're going to hear all of that and more in the upcoming playing part of this video. But first, what I want to do is tell you about the features and the specifications of this pedal. So we've got two sides then, as I've said. This is the Morning Star side, the Bluesbreaker side of the pedal, and I'm actually familiar with this side of the pedal because it's found in the NUX Ace of Tone pedal, which is a Bluesbreaker and a Tube Screamer type of pedal, and you can see my video on that pedal up there later if you'd like to watch that too. But on this side of the pedal we have a drive control, a tone control, and a level control. You activate the pedal here, and if you hold down this button for about half a second, you activate a second mode called Shine mode that gives you a bit more top end and a bit more clarity in your signal. So that's that side of the pedal. And on the other side we have the NUX Horseman, which I'm also familiar with actually because I've done a video on the NUX Horseman on its own. It's a very decent little Klon Centaur type of pedal. Again, video on that there later if you'd like to watch that one too. But on this side of the pedal we have a gain control, a treble control, and an output or volume control. And again, if we hold down this, we can enter a second mode. So the standard mode of this pedal is the gold mode, which is classic Klon Centaur sort of territory. And if we hold down that pedal, we can activate the silver mode, which gives you a boost in headroom and a boost in aggression as well. Now if you look at the top of the pedal here, we have a couple more options here. We have true bypass or buffered bypass, you can switch between the two, and we have a knob here that's labeled normal and IFS. Now IFS stands for Input FET Stage, and what that basically is doing, if you activate that, is giving you an extra kick into the input stage of the amp. It's effectively giving you an extra boost that you can have in front of everything else to push your amp into a bit more drive, and we're going to hear that as well. So this is the NUX Queen of Tone pedal then, and what I'm going to do now is play it in as many different musical sounds, settings, styles and genres as I can possibly imagine. I'm going to be using my Fender Telecaster for single coil sounds, and I'll use my Epiphone Les Paul for humbucking tones as well. And we're going to play as many different genres and styles as we can, and at the end I'll do a loop with each of the two guitars where I'll play a couple of different riffs and really twist the knobs and flick the switches and see what extremes we can get this pedal to go to, because the magic of course is in stacking those two drive sides together and seeing where you can get. My rig for today is going to be my Hughes & Kettner Black Spirit 200 amp head, and will be on the amp's clean channel for most of the time. At the end though, I'll switch it up and go to the crunch channel on the amp, and we'll hear how the Queen of Tone reacts going into an already dirty amplifier. Enough talk then, it's the NUX Queen of Tone overdrive pedal. Let's play it now and we'll speak in a bit more detail about it afterwards. Okay then, so that was the NUX Queen of Tone dual overdrive pedal, and I hope you enjoyed the playing and the tones. And there were certainly a lot of tones to get through because this is an extremely versatile drive pedal, and I've played it with a bunch of different guitars over the past few weeks, not just with my Tele and my Les Paul, but with other guitars, with P90s, with Jazzmaster pickups and so on, and it really does a job on all of them. But what else do I think about this pedal? Well, let me tell you about the things now that I like, and perhaps a couple of things that I don't quite like so much about this pedal. And we'll start with the versatility and the sounds. And I have to say that straight from the off, I was very, very impressed with the way this pedal sounds. Now, as I told you in the intro, I've played both the Morning Star and the Horseman side of this pedal before in the past, so I know how good they can both sound and how they can both work. But stacking them together is also where the magic happens. And I really think that a Bluesbreaker style pedal and a Klon Centaur style pedal together is a pretty underrated combo, and they sound very, very good. And they stack beautifully in both directions, which was something I was not really expecting. But starting off with the Morning Star side, this is a pedal that I think has a propensity to be just a little bit dark, so I find myself often wanting to use the shine mode there, which gets rid of that problem straight away and gives me all the top end clarity that I need. It works great for indie style stuff, it works great for poppy, folky stuff, it works great even for classic rock and that kind of thing as well, and especially with humbuckers, you really get a nice push to your tone. Now, the Klon Centaur style side of the pedal, the Horseman, is a much more aggressive tone for me, and that is something that I found myself having to dial down at certain points. I do sort of wish that this pedal on this side had just a little bit less gain to start with, because especially with the humbuckers, it's straight into almost classic rock territory. With the Les Paul, it's quite hard to get just a clean boost with that side of the pedal, but it is something you can sort of manage. But overall then, both sides offer you something a little bit different. As you turn up the gain on the Horseman, you get a rawer, brasher sound, and you lose some of that transparency, but with the Bluesbreaker style side of the pedal, you manage to retain that. And putting these two together, you're entering hard rock sort of heaven. It does hard rock great, it does progressive rock, it does stuff like punk rock as well, and it can even do a bit of metal, especially with hotter pickups or with humbuckers. Now, if you're using a guitar with single coil pickups like my Fender Tele, you're not going to get full-on metal with this pedal, but I don't think anyone's going to be buying this pedal to play full-on metal tones anyway. With the humbuckers, I thought we got a pretty decent metal sort of a sound. I mean, you could boost it a little bit more, you could put a tube screamer in front if you wanted to do that, but you could play any style of music with this pedal, no problem. At least that's what I think. Leave me your comments down there in the description. Let me know what you thought about the tones of this pedal, but I was very, very happy with it. Now, the other great thing about this pedal, of course, is that it's a dual overdrive pedal, so you've got two overdrives in one box, and that does offer you a number of advantages over having two separate overdrive pedals. You use one less power supply slot, you use less cables, you have less space on your pedal board. Okay, you might use two mini pedals, but generally one pedal is smaller than two pedals in terms of wiring it up. And you also get to route this pedal the way you want it. I found that running the Bluesbreaker into the Klon style side was great for a lot of stuff, especially with the Telecaster, but when I got up to heavier sort of tones, I surprised myself in finding that running the Klon side into the Bluesbreaker side was actually really working for me. Now, of course, this is a taste thing, your mileage may vary, you might prefer something different, but I really thought that we had a bunch of different options with this, and again, it worked with pretty much every guitar and every setting that I managed to put it through, so full marks there to NUX for the tones in this pedal, and again, the advantages of a double pedal over two separate ones are pretty cool to have. And the other thing that I wanted to mention that I thought was a pretty cool touch is the addition of this switch here, the Input FET Stage option. It's just another cool touch to have. It gives you a bit more boost, it gives you a bit more saturation. If you've got a guitar with weaker pickups, you can use that to boost the signal that's running into your amplifier. I didn't need it at all with the Les Paul, but I found it quite cool to use with the Telecaster at some points, and it's just a cool thing just to feature in this pedal. You don't see that kind of thing very often, and especially in affordable pedals like this one, so full marks to NUX for that little feature. Now, what about the things that I didn't quite like so much about this pedal? Well, there's a couple, and they're quite minor things, but just things that I thought I would mention. Now, as I told you before, I've done a video with the NUX Ace of Tone, and that has a similar issue when you're activating the foot switches on this pedal. When you turn them on, you have just a tiny little delay, a tiny little time lapse before the pedal kicks in. It's just an almost imperceptible tenth of a second or something like that. But if you're someone who wants to have your foot switches directly dead on, and if you need that to be spot on for live work, for example, that's something you're really going to have to get to learn your way around, or just not use, or maybe you're going to have to get a pedal switcher involved to do that instead and not rely on these switches to do that. It's just a minor thing, but something I thought was worth mentioning. And as I said before, I did find that the Morning Star side of the pedal was a little bit dark at times, but of course you can dial that out. You can add more tone, you can add the shine mode to boost your top end and the clarity there, so that's not really a problem, is it? And then of course I said that there was possibly a little bit too much gain on the Horseman side of the pedal, but again, if you're using a guitar with pickups that are not as hot as those in my Epiphone Les Paul, those humbuckers are pretty darn hot, then it's not going to be an issue either. And I really think that when you crank it up, that's when this pedal comes more to life anyway. So apart from that, really nothing to fault with this pedal whatsoever. If you've been watching this video though, and you're kind of liking this sort of ideal, but you want to see what else is out there, what other dual overdrive pedals are there that do this kind of thing? Well, when it comes to Morning Star or Bluesbreaker style pedals and Klon style pedals together, there's not that many options that I can think of. There's the Nordfang 83 drive and also the Seriatone Horsebreaker. They both have Klon and Bluesbreaker style sides in a double pedal, but they're much more boutique than the NUX, and therefore they're going to be much more expensive too. So I would recommend that if you're into this kind of thing, maybe try out the NUX, try out those two and see which one works best for your individual needs and your individual setup. Now when it comes to dual overdrives as well, there are so many different tastes and flavors that you can have. I've already mentioned the Ace of Tone here, and that's another fantastic pedal. This has the Bluesbreaker side, but it also has a Tube Screamer side in it, so it does have similar flavors, but it does different stuff as well, and there's a real amount of high gain in the Tube Screamer side of this pedal, so it can really do full-on metal type stuff, and it's great for bluesier type tones as well, so that's a fantastic choice too. But pretty much every maker under the sun will do a flavor of dual overdrives. Pick the two different drives that you like, do a bit of a Google search or go on YouTube and search around a bit, and you'll find something that works for you. But I've got a massive list on my computer of double pedals, and I'll just reel off a couple. The JHS double barrel is possibly the most famous of all of them, and that's actually a Bluesbreaker Tube Screamer sort of a combo. Then there's pedals like the JHS Sweet Tea, the Boss Angry Driver, of course the original King of Tone pedal. You've got the Brown Amplification Protein, you've got the Strymon Sunset and Riverside if you want a digital version of this. You've got the Keeley D&M drive, the Earthquaker Devices Palisades, the Cornerstone Gladio, the Origin Effects Revival drive. That has so many different options in one little box. Then you've got stuff like the Chase Bliss Brothers, the Fender Dual Pugilist pedal, or something like the Tone City King of Blues or the Joyo King of Kings, and those are both Analog Man King of Tone style pedals. There are so many options. So think about the two different sort of drives that you'd like to have, search on Google, and you'll really start to narrow it down and see which pedals are going to be worth it for you. At the end of the day though, I have to say that I think the Queen of Tone is really one of the better offerings out there, especially at this price point. I'm a huge fan of Bluesbreaker style circuits, and using the shine mode I can get all the top end that I need to make this a great side of the pedal. I love Klon style pedals as well, and I really like the Horseman. I really enjoy the two together as well, and the stacking options and flicking backwards and forwards to run one into the other, then the other one into the other one work really well for me. So in that regard, it's a super versatile pedal. It's going to give you many options, and it's not going to cost you too much money either. So search one out, check it out, and this could be the next double overdrive pedal that might end up on your pedal board. Who knows? Anyway, I hope this video has given you all the information that you might want to know about the Queen of Tone, but if there's anything else that you need to know, let me know down there in the comments and I'll do my best to answer all of your questions. And if you're still around with the video, it would make my day if you wanted to give the video a like or even sub to the Rich Words Music channel, because that really helps out too. But that's been it for today's video. I've been Rich and this has been the NUX Queen of Tone, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.